Another chaotic week in Class 4A. Only 3 teams held down the same spot that they had the week before. Again, it's a Monday, which means I've got your rankings coming your way, starting with 16 through 11 in Class 4A. At number 16, Ballard. They've been in our rankings. They dropped out. Now they're back after a win over North Polk, and a significant one at that. Really an upset that I didn't see coming. Not a lot of us saw coming. They won that game 7-6. They just showed up and beat a really good North Polk team that was inside of our top 5. So really, probably the biggest win of the week goes to Ballard as they move to 3-3 and hop back in our rankings. At number 15, Denison, they beat Spencer 22-19. They are one of the 3 teams to hold down the same spot that they had last week. They moved to 4-2 and sit at number 15. At number 14, Pella, they moved down 3 spots. They lost to Newton 17-7. Pella at 3-3, still a really good win over Xavier. They're going to look to bounce back this week. At number 13, Indianola, they move up 1 spot after beating Boone 35-0. They are 4-2, 6 weeks into the regular season. We just talked about them. Newton, they're 3-3. They beat Pella. They bounce back, get a big win, move up a spot, and sit at number 12 now. At number 11, Norwalk, they move down 3 spots. Tough loss to Dallas Center Grimes. They drop out of our top 10. Still 4-2, though, at this point, but just not enough to keep them in our top 10 at this point. Speaking of our top 10, though, let's get right into it. And the still undefeated team, the still lone undefeated team in Class 4A is the Gilbert Tigers. They are 6-0. They have not been a ranked team yet this season, but they are 6-0. They finished the year with a gauntlet. Number 2, Bondurant, number 12, Newton, and number 14, Pella. Gilbert 6-0. Still plenty of chances for them to move on up. At number 9, Lamar's, they move up 3 spots. Their lone loss is to an unranked MOC Floyd Valley team. They don't have their signature win yet, but they have continued to win against teams that they should beat. They finished the year with Fort Dodge, number 15, Denison, and Storm Lake. So 3 winnable games there for Lamar's. They could be well on their way to an 8-1 finish and a district title. At number 8, North Polk, they moved down 5 spots. Again, they've losses to number 11 in 3A, Webster City, and number 16, Ballard in 4A. They finished the year with 2 of their final 3 games are against ranked teams. They've got Indianola, Boone, and then ADM in their final regular season game. At number 7, Glenwood, they move up 2 spots. They've lost to Harlan and Lewis Central. Their best win against 5A Sioux City East team, though. They finished the year with Dallas and Grimes, Council Bluffs, Thomas Jefferson, and number 11, Norwalk. So Glenwood 4-2 and looking to pick up 3 wins before the regular season is over. At number 6, North Scott. They moved down 4 spots and out of the top 5. Still, though, really good losses. Their 2 are to number 1, Western Dubuque, and Cedar Rapids Xavier. They have beat number 7, 3A in 3A and Assumption. They finished the year with Clear Creek, Amana, Clinton, and Oskaloosa. The big question is, though, is the health of Kyler Girardi. He went down on their final drive against Xavier. Really hoping it's nothing serious. I haven't heard or seen anything, but that could definitely play into a factor of that team's success going forward. He's such a playmaker, and it'd be a huge loss. So we're hoping for the best for Girardi and the Lancers. But without further ado, let's get into your top 5 this week. We've got some movement. Xavier, they move up 2 spots. They have losses to Williamsburg and Pella, but they've beaten Western Dubuque and North Scott. Really up and down year to this point, but nevertheless, they're 4-2. They've got Oskaloosa, Clear Creek, Amana, and Burlington left on their slate. 3 games you would really expect them to handle and see them finishing as the district champion in Class 4A right there. At number 4, ADM, their 1 loss to Lewis Central. They've got wins against Newton and Norwalk. They finished the year with Ballard, Indianola, and North Polk, 3 ranked teams. Really tough ending, but ADM, you can expect them to handle at least the next 2, and then you got the showdown with North Polk in Week 9 for the district title. Really an underrated district, though, as far as difficulty, though. Those are all really good teams left on their slate. At number 3, Lewis Central, 4-2. They got wins over Harlan, ADM, and Glenwood, but they lost to Creston and Bondurant Farrar, 2 teams that are top 2 in their district. They finished the year with Winterset, Norwalk, and DCG. Lewis Central is well on their way to a district title right there, barring anything crazy. At number 2, Bondurant Farrar, new number 2 team. I believe this is their highest rank so far this year. They lost to number 8 North Polk to start the year, but they have rattled off some impressive wins, including Lewis Central and Newton. They've got Gilbert, Pella, and Carlisle coming up. 3 really competitive games, I can assume. But Bonnarant 4R is really kind of separating themselves as a top tier team in Class 4A, and really what might be a title favorite. So you can expect them to be well on their way to finishing the year really solid, and they could probably even afford one slip up and still be a district title or district champion and control their way to the playoffs. But number 1, yet again, Western Dubuque, 5-1. Only loss this season is to number 5, Xavier. They've got wins over North Scott, and they finished the year with Waterloo East, Decorah, and Mason City. So 3 games you'd expect them to win. Western Dubuque, they hold down our number 1 spot for the 3rd straight week, I believe. And the Bobcats are well on their way to an 8-1 year and probably the top overall seed in that bracket in Class 4A. So we had a ton of movement this week. Got more big games this week in Class 4A. Really shaping up to be a competitive class, and a ton of teams that you could see going on runs, and really no clear and evident front runner at this point. Still really up in the air between Xavier, ADM, Lewis Central, Bonnarant, Western Dubuque. You got North Scott there too if Girardi's healthy. Glenwood can compete. North Polk has shown they can beat top dogs. So really Class 4A is shaping up to be one of the more interesting classes of all 7. So going to be a ton of fun, and we'll see if anything changes next week, which is where I will see you guys next.